Most people will never master themselves, not because they're weak, but because they never learned how. They chase motivation, wait for perfect conditions, or blame distractions. But 2,000 years ago, a man born into slavery discovered something most of us still ignore: that freedom, power, and self-discipline don't come from the outside. They're forged within. His name was Epictetus, and his wisdom can still change your life today. Epictetus taught that discipline begins with a single realization: some things are up to us and some things are not. The moment you draw that line, everything shifts. You stop wasting energy trying to control the world and start mastering what you can: your thoughts, your choices, your responses. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That line hits deeper the more you reflect. Freedom isn't doing what you want, it's having the strength to do what you should, especially when you don't feel like it. In our world of endless scrolling, temptations, and emotional noise, Epictetus offers a quiet, unshakable voice. Don't seek to control events. Control your judgment. Don't be ruled by desire. Be ruled by reason. The disciplined person doesn't avoid pleasure. They dominate it. They aren't cold. They're focused. Discipline isn't built in the gym or a calendar app. It's built in moments of choice. When you resist the urge to complain, when you focus instead of flee, when you say no to your lower self to serve something higher, that's Stoicism. That's power. That's you becoming unbreakable. Epictetus didn't live in luxury. He was beaten, silenced, even crippled. But no one could chain his mind, and that's what makes his philosophy so timeless. He showed that hardship isn't an excuse, it's a training ground. Your struggles aren't obstacles, they're opportunities to train your will. He believed pain was not the problem, our reaction to pain was. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Most people collapse under stress because they believe they shouldn't suffer. Epictetus would disagree. He'd say, "You were made for this." Self-discipline isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about mastering it. It's about standing in the fire without losing your shape. Epictetus trained his students like warriors, not to conquer others, but to conquer themselves. He would give mental exercises. When you see a tempting meal, remind yourself, this is just roasted meat and vegetables. When you hear applause, remember, it's just noise. Does it make you better? Stronger? Discipline sharpens perception. It cuts through illusion. In a world built to distract, Stoicism is rebellion. It's the refusal to be a puppet of impulse. It's the choice to show up, even when your feelings scream otherwise. And that's not cold, it's courageous. Because true discipline is not about being emotionless. It's about placing reason on the throne and letting emotion serve, not rule. Self-discipline isn't about punishment. It's about alignment. Aligning your actions with your highest values, especially when it's hard. Epictetus believed that life tests you to reveal what you truly value. If comfort wins over principle, if pleasure wins over purpose, then your discipline is just a performance. But when integrity costs you something and you still choose it, that's real strength. He once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." In other words, don't talk about self-discipline, live it. Let it be visible in the way you speak, the way you hold silence, the way you work when no one watches. We often think we need motivation to act, but Epictetus flips that. Action creates momentum. Willpower grows through use. When you choose discomfort on purpose, cold showers, waking early, fasting, staying silent when angry, you build a muscle most people never train. And that muscle? It's unbreakable. The disciplined mind doesn't chase ease. It seeks meaning. It doesn't ask, "What do I feel like doing?" It asks, "What's the right thing to do?" That shift in question rewires your path. Self-discipline isn't one grand decision. It's 1,000 small ones. Every time you act in alignment with reason over impulse, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Eventually, that person is no longer an ideal. It's your identity. You're no longer pretending. You are disciplined. There's a reason Epictetus's teachings still survive. They don't depend on time, technology, or circumstance. They're rooted in something universal, the power of the human will, and he believed that power was divine, not in a mystical way, but in a practical one. He said, "You have something stronger than chaos, stronger than fear, stronger than fate, your own mind." Self-discipline, to Epictetus, wasn't about control for its own sake. It was about becoming fit to serve something greater: truth, justice, courage. And that's what separates Stoicism from mere self-help. It's not about optimization, it's about transformation. When you rise early, not for productivity, but to prove to yourself that you can. When you stay calm in the storm, not to impress others, but because you've trained for it. When you sacrifice comfort for character, that's when Stoicism lives in you. In the end, Epictetus gives us a gift more powerful than rules or routines. He gives us a mirror, one that asks not, "What do you want?" but, "Who are you becoming?" You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need a new app or a dopamine detox. What you need is already inside you, your power to choose. Choose self-discipline. Choose the harder right over the easier wrong. Choose the voice of Epictetus, not because it's old, but because it still speaks truth. And when you do, you won't just change your habits, you'll change your life. If you're ready to master your mind, conquer your impulses, and live with purpose, then subscribe to Stoic Hustle, because discipline isn't a trait, it's a way of life.